Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Art Whisperer 88. This is a sequel to the printing session I did the other day, and I produced a whole series of these jelly plate prints. This is 8 by 10. And today I'm using the plate as a placeholder. I'm taking advantage of the fact that it's quite sticky. And these prints tend to curl up because they're small. So in order to keep them in place on my work table without taping them down, I just place it on the plate and it stays put. So anyway, speaking of behaving, here's a little trick I have. When you have these leftover stencils that you'd like to use again and use them as collage, I turn them on their back and then wet them a little bit, and the water softens the paper so it is a little more pliable. So I have here this orange onion ring, and then these two vermilion pieces that I'd like to put here. So I'm going to put this here and this one here, form an X sort of, and then this one there. So now that the paper has softened a little bit, it's more pliable, so it's a little easier to mount it. But keeping in mind that it's a wet piece of paper, it's best to handle it carefully because it's very fragile and it could tear. Here's the second piece. And here's the third piece. There. Maybe I will add my copy paper. Maybe here. Like so. So I think of collage as like telling a little story. You have a little narrative going on, and the more little pieces of information, the more interesting the story becomes. So this will be the first piece, the light blue. I'm going to set this aside to dry. And the one I will work on next is this piece. It's one of my favorite pieces. We call it like a lapis lazuli kind of finish. And I thought maybe these orange pieces would be very striking. Again, I'm going to turn them upside down and wet them. And the moisture from the glue is going to soften the paper and make it more pliable. So when I lay it down to glue, it's not going to curl up on me, hopefully. So here's one piece. Here's the other piece. Then I think, since this is a dark background, it could use something, a light color, something like this. Let's provide some contrast to the dark blue. Let me see what else. Well, for now I will let this dry, leave this as it is, and move on to the next piece. This one could use some collage as well. Now, since this is a series of collages, I'm not over planning the positioning of the pieces. It's fairly spontaneous, and I think that sometimes when art is spontaneous, it's more successful. It's fresher, I think, than something that's been labored over. Now these skinny pieces seem to be more well behaved because they don't have much surface area. Okay. Maybe a tiny spot of color. Okay, so that's it for the yellow piece. I'm going to take a short break and come back for the others, so don't go away. Okay, back from a short break, and this time it's the red piece, and I have a long skinny piece here that I think will look good. Like so. And I had pre-moistened the back of it so it would soften up and it would be easier to mount it. I'm gonna add some black and white. Like so. There. This is the red piece. Now I think this piece needs it badly because it looks very faded and I want to make it a little more interesting. Let me see what I can find here. Now I have these leftover stencils and you can see they're all shriveled up. So I will wet the backs of them like so. And once the paper absorbs the moisture from the glue, they will kind of relax and even out. So let me see, maybe it will look good on the opposite side, like that. Okay. Let's see. So I'm going to let this air dry, and once these are dry, I will lay them out on the table so you can see them all together. There are some pieces which I'm not going to apply the collage because I think they're complex enough, and I will leave well enough alone because I think this is a standalone piece of art that I don't need to enhance it or mess with it. So anyway, I will be right back. Okay folks, I'm back. I will show you first the pieces that don't need any collage. So I think these two can be standalone pieces because I think they're interesting enough that they don't need any other kind of embellishment. So that's two pieces. Now here's the light blue piece. And here's the dark blue, the phthalo blue. Here's a red piece. Okay, and then here's the piece with the creamy background, and here's a bright yellow piece. So I will try my best to put this all within the camera frame if I can. There. Let me see if I can do a long shot. Okay, here's a wide angle shot so you can see all the differences when it gets combined with the collage. So anyway, thank you for all the support you're giving me, and I am setting my sights on my goal to reach the 1,000 subscriber mark. That would be a huge milestone for me. And thank you for your kind comments and your support. And I hope to see you next time.